So we're in our brooding room right now, and it looks like we are almost at capacity. The problem is we're getting into the time of year where we start to hatch out somewhere around 100 birds a week, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, but we'll go right up until the second or third week of August or so, and then it slows right down like all of a sudden. One of the problems we have with our brooders right now is we have North American ruddy ducks. We had like 18 of them hatched out already, 20 of them hatched out already, and there's also Argentine ruddy duck hatched out. So we try to leave these in the brooders until they lose all the feathering on their head. The problem is we don't have any brooder space, so these are going to actually have to go out probably a week or two earlier than normal, just because we need the brooder space. So we have, and this is again stuff that I've gone through before. This is a halogen infrared light bulb. You can buy this. They sell them for pigs. They're actually pretty nice. They're really warm heat. You can splash them with water and the bulb won't break. And then there's a high and there's a low on them. So as the ducklings get bigger, you can turn down the heat on them. We also have these all on ropes, so I do raise these up when I'm changing brooders. You just pull them and you just latch it down at the bottom, and it's all set for washing the brooder out. And it makes the job real easy here. We have this water line is all set up. It's not a really professional looking job, but it's what I did myself. This is all done with PEX. You just basically slide the fittings in, and you use these clamps to clamp it all in, and it really, to do this whole system, probably only takes a few hours to do it properly. These brooders here are made by Leucopsis. Ian Gary down in Pennsylvania makes these. We've got them all piped so they drain outside. We've got water we can run continuously if we choose to. In fact, all these ruddy ducks, we actually leave water running on them because if we don't, we'll end up with feather problems like really quick. And what these brooders do is this water will come up to a level of this middle piece here. It just rolls off the back and down the drain on the back side. To drain these things, you would just unscrew this little plug down here, and it just goes right down the drain. I'm not going to drain that out right now. So on this side of the brooders, it's a rough surface to help to facilitate the ducklings getting in and out easier, but it's not really rough enough. So we use these mats here to help the ducklings get in and out. These are called knobby mats. They're used in the food industry. Ducks sit up. These things were designed so you can put food utensils on top of them, and the water drains out. And it's the same thing with the ducks. The ducks sit up on these little knobs, and all the water drains out underneath it. We clean these brooders out on a daily basis. Actually, I am going to drain this. We do clean these brooders out on a daily basis. With this feed, this feed that's being used right here is a starter crumble. The problem with starter crumble, with any feeds, is there's fats in them, and when they get into the drains, they start coagulating, and you'll end up having plugged drains if you're not careful. And we haven't had any major problems yet, but potentially we could fill up all these brooders with water and kill all the ducklings. So to that point, one of the things that we do is these drains typically have like a little cross member going across. I take a screwdriver and I pop them out. That makes it easier to flush stuff down the drain, and then nothing will get stuck and plug up the drain, make the job slower. The other thing that I would recommend using these type of brooders or any similar brooders is to keep a toilet plunger nearby, and really plunge all these drains frequently, a couple times a week. Because even if you think that they don't need it, they probably need to get plunged because they do develop, start to get a lot of fat inside. These brooders, unfortunately, were designed without a partition in the middle. A partition would be awesome for these things. If you look on this side, we got some gray jungle fowl in here. I'm going to put them in a different brooder tomorrow because I got to put ducklings in here. We buy grates for both sides. That way you can use them for jungle fowl or you can use them for ducks. We also build these partitions. It's just a piece of plywood with a 2x4 on both sides. So we can set this in place here and we can use it as a double brooder. And you can see we have this situated here so we can drop a light on this side. And we can also we got water on both sides. What that does is it doubles our capacity for raising stuff like ruddy ducks. And we also like to use the smaller areas for some of the harder to start species like the hooded mergansers. So our protocol for stuff like hooded mergansers and ruddy ducks is pretty similar. With the ruddy ducks and the hooded mergansers, we're feeding them a chick starter. We're feeding them these are freeze-dried mealworms. We don't feed we haven't fed the live mealworms in a couple of years. They actually like these things just as much as the live ones. And then we also feed these the Missouri starter, like a micro pellet. And these hooded mergansers are actually eating the micro pellets really well right now. And of course they eat the mealworms. The other thing we feed is bloodworms and shrimp. We put like 1 or 2 cubes in each feeding, and there's actually some still left in here. You can't see it probably on the camera, but they really love the invertebrates. You'll notice this particular partition has a shelf on it. This shelf serves two purposes. One is to store my feed on it, but the real reason that I built that shelf was to prevent the hooded mergansers or anything that climbs from climbing over this wooden shelf and getting into the other side or possibly escaping the brooder. Some of these ruddy ducks will come out tomorrow. These chickens, the gray jungle fowl will come out tomorrow because we got to make room for ducklings. As I said earlier, we're getting into the time of year where we're going to be hatching out 100 or more ducklings a week. We got some yellow-billed pintails in here. There's some wandering tree ducks, Brazilian teal. I think that's it. There's a red-crested pochard in there. I think there's a fulvous tree duck in there. The next brooder over has got some cinnamon teals in it, some ring teals. There's some Bahama pintails. The next brooder over is some common shell ducks that just hatched out. All except one just hatched out today. We've got some more ruddy ducks on this side, ruddy ducks on the other side. This whole row is actually ruddy ducks. And then I see some mandarins in here. There's some, I think it's American black ducks, possibly African yellow bills. Some more ring teal over here. A mixture of stuff today. They hatched out some sharp-winged teal. There's another ring teal I see in here. Some Bahama pintails. It's either cinnamon or blue-winged teal. We got some mandarins over here. It looks like there's a lace and teal in here. And I don't know what else we got in there. Oh, there's red Bahama pintails. There's some more ruddy ducks over here on this side. So we should have, within next week or so, we'll have New Zealand shovelers hatched, I think, some canvasbacks hatched. This is like within 2 weeks, a week and a half. European pochards. There should be a bunch of redheads hatch shortly, marble teal. Golden eyes are hatching today. American golden eyes anyway. Then we got some Barrow's golden eyes that are laying eggs. We got Philippine ducks and more bronze wings down south. And we actually have a bunch of ducklings outside as well. But we're not going to take a tour of the outside growing brooders yet because it's dark right now.